Hi, I'm Leo, and this is Finance English in 8 minutes, where you learn finance through CMA concepts, BI insights, and AI applications in a simple and practical way. Today, let's start with a simple question. Is finance just about numbers? Most people think it is. Revenue, cost, profit. Numbers go up or down, and finance reports what happened. But here's the truth. Finance is not about numbers. It's about decisions. And if finance only reports numbers, it is already too late. Let me explain. Imagine this. Your company just closed the month. The finance team sends a report. Revenue is down 10%. Costs are slightly higher. Profit is lower than expected. Everyone sees the numbers, but no one knows what to do next. So the CEO asks, what happened? Why did revenue drop? Is this temporary or a trend? What should we do now? And suddenly, the report is not enough, because the real need is not reporting, it is understanding. And more importantly, it is decision-making. This is where finance must change its role, from reporting to business partner. In traditional accounting, we focus on recording. We make sure numbers are correct. We follow standards. We close the books. This is important, but it is only the starting point, because accounting is the language of business. But finance is the interpretation of that language. Accounting tells you what happened. Finance tells you why it happened and what to do next. If you only understand accounting, you see the numbers. If you understand finance, you see the story behind the numbers. And this difference is what separates a finance manager from a CFO. Let's take a real example. A restaurant chain sees declining profit. Accounting shows revenue down 5%. Food cost increased by 3%. Labor cost slightly higher. Everything looks clear, but is it really clear? A finance mindset will ask deeper questions. Is revenue down because of fewer customers or lower spending per customer? Is food cost higher because of supplier price or poor portion control? Is labor cost higher because of inefficiency or strategic hiring? Same numbers, different understanding, and completely different decisions. This is why finance must go beyond reporting. A strong finance professional does 3 things. First, understand the business, not just the numbers, but how the business actually works. Second, translate numbers into insights. Not just revenue is down, but revenue is down because customer traffic dropped in urban locations. And third, support decisions. Not just explaining the past, but helping shape the future. This is what we call the CMA mindset. It is not about memorizing formulas. It is about thinking in a structured way. Understanding cause and effect. Linking financial results to business drivers. Now, let's connect this to BI and AI. Because in today's world, finance is not working alone. With BI tools, you don't just see monthly reports, you see real-time dashboards. You can track sales by location, by product, by time of day. You can identify problems before the month even ends. And with AI, you go one step further. You don't just explain what happened, you predict what will happen. You can forecast demand, detect anomalies, and simulate different scenarios. So instead of asking what happened, you start asking what will happen next, and more importantly, what should we do now? This is the future of finance, from reporting to insight to prediction to decision. So, next time you look at a financial report, don't stop at the numbers. Ask yourself, what is the story behind these numbers? What is really driving the result? And what decision should be made?
because finance is not about being right. It is about being useful. Now, let's quickly review some key phrases for today. Business partner, a finance role that supports decision-making. Financial insight, understanding the story behind the numbers. Business driver, the key factor that impacts performance. Data-driven decision, a decision based on data, not intuition. If you can use these phrases, you are already thinking differently, and that is the first step to thinking like a CFO. Finance is not about numbers. It's about understanding the business and driving better decisions. I'm Leo, and I'll see you in the next episode.